was assaulted. Women are women.
I was assaulted. No, they are not. They are men. I was assaulted by men.
Women are women.
Hey guys, welcome back to Normal Gays, where we take on LGBT insanity. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson Lawson.
What's up, guys? We want to thank you guys for joining as normies when we had to watch Lily Tino's OnlyFans.
Spicy.
It did very well. A lot of you guys.
So many of y'all signed up just to watch us watch that. And I'll take the bag.
Yeah.
But I question y'all a little bit for that.
I went through the most emotional turmoil during that episode. Brad liked it. But this week, we're going to be reacting to a debate between our favorite person that we haven't talked about in a while, Jeffrey Marsh.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah. So that thing, salad fingers, we're going to be reacting. We're going to be reacting to
an old video of
his.
Them.
Yeah, them.
Explaining their genderqueer truth.
Yeah.
But on other related stuff that we're going to talk about today, do you remember the controversy about Tish, who confronted the trans woman who had beat their wife in the Gold's Gym?
Yes.
Well, and do you know who Scott Weiner is?
Yes.
He's the crazy California state lawmaker who's like ultra woke on all the queer stuff.
I've unfortunately seen his pictures at Pride, and he's in like gross outfits.
Yeah, it's not the cutest. Well, he is running for Congress. I think it may be in Nancy Pelosi's old seat.
No, he's not.
Yeah, so he's probably and he could win. So, but Tish went and confronted him, and the clip is going viral. So we're gonna take a look at that.
Senator Weiner, as the only black lesbian here, can I please ask you a question because I flew here to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. As a lesbian woman who was attacked in the women's locker room at Gold's Gym this week by a self-identifying trans woman with a documented history of domestic violence, I'm deeply concerned about women's safety in female-only spaces. What would you say to women who are seeking assurance that their safety will be protected from men who, by California law, can self-ID as women in women-only spaces, sir? Please tell me.
Yeah. So we want, everyone to be safe. And we also know that, we have trans people, both men and women, who are men and women. And so, so if you're trans women are women.
Senator, you've done great things with the...
Well, we can look at the rest, but let's just pause. Let's reflect on that as a response.
That wasn't an answer.
Somebody says to you, I was just verbally assaulted and made uncomfortable by a domestic abuser masquerading as a trans woman in the women's room under your self-ID policies in California, where anyone can just go in based on no verification. Right. And your response is, well, I want everyone to be safe, but trans women are women.
It's almost like he got caught up when he was speaking because you could see his hands were nervously touching the mic. Like he got caught up in virtue signaling and actually answering the question, and his brain could not compute. Like he's like, I don't know how to answer this, because the only way to truly address this issue is to invalidate some self-identifying trans women.
Right. To say that you can't just literally have or you know what you have to tell. The honest answer would be, I believe in self-ID policies where anyone can go into any restroom.
Right.
And the cost of that is that people like you will be made to feel uncomfortable. And I'm sorry for that, but that's the price. We care more about trans people feeling happy than we do about your comfort. That would be the honest answer. It would also be insane.
You could also say it in a politically correct sense by saying like every policy has ramifications and, there's downsides to everything. This is one of those rare instances where there's a downside to that policy, but
right. But
the good of it overweighs your experience.
Right. You could say that. I would disagree, but he's just
that would
like
be the politician answer.
Right.
You would think he's like politically trained on this.
But the problem is he's in an ultra blue legislature representing a blue district. It's like,
yeah, I guess he can just say trans women are women and he'll
right. I don't think you actually get confronted by somebody with a different perspective very often. And I imagine he's in such an echo chamber that they think this is not even an issue. It's all just made up. It's all just like a Fox News fake news or whatever.
They're going to start talking about her as like they talk about Riley Gaines.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And this audience is presumably this must be a town hall or an event he did. And they're mostly his supporters. And it is an interesting like glimpse into the echo chambers when you see how they respond to her. Let's listen a little more.
The bills you passed with the housing. I've read a lot of your bills, and like you said, there are bills that need to be opened up, and I'm telling you now, millions of women across America are being harassed and sexually assaulted in locker rooms. I'm a lesbian black woman. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. And I do respect a lot of the things you've done. But I do see a lot of these bills that you've passed that are dangerous for women and young children. And I understand that you're trying to be on a level playing field. And I'm here to represent my community because I hear a lot of things about my community in these bills. And I'm telling you as a woman, first and foremost, that this is dangerous and we need your help because you're in the office, you're going to go in the publicity spot. I want to support you. I have millions of people behind me watching this right now, and we want to know, are you going to protect women? Not trans women, women. Trans women are different things. Women. Listen, we need to protect women's safety. I was assaulted. I was assaulted. No, they are not. They are men. I was assaulted by men. He broke his wife's jaw so bad she needed reconstructive surgery.
Oh, wow.
They literally booed her when she's like, no, they're not. They're men.
That's honestly like very eye-opening.
Yeah.
That's insane that people are actually at a town hall like believing that. I don't know. It's just weird. I guess because I live in Florida, I don't see it.
We don't see it. We forget how these echo chambers are. But it's like,
Yeah.
even if you truly are on the trans women are women train, which I've never really been on. I've always thought trans women is a category of male.
That's
right.
the most like accurate description.
And so, yeah. So I've never gone out of my way to be like rude. I don't go up to a trans woman and be like, you're a man.
No.
But at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, are trans women men or women, I would always.
And
have
when
said.
it comes to legal policy, you have to make that distinction. Like you can't be so worried about feelings that you start to quite literally craft bills that.
It's just so interesting though to watch this room full of like California liberals encounter what most people believe, whether you like it or not. Like most people believe trans women are men.
People in California believe that.
Well,
That's
especially like black people, like lower income people, the people they claim to represent.
They're because they're like the lower income people aren't privileged enough to believe in delusion, virtue signal to themselves. That's what it is. It's like if you're actually attached to reality, you don't have time for this shit.
It's just fascinating though to watch them be scandalized by the expression of such a mainstream
They're clutching
opinion.
their pearls. They're like,
they really are. No, aren't they not? Is that not what we just witnessed?
It sounded like she was saying something crazy. Meanwhile, the guy that was in the locker room broke his ex-wife's jaw and took on her name.
I think they probably just don't believe that. They just probably assume that
it's cognitive dissonance. It's like people talk about like January 6th with MAGA supporters or like Trump and Epstein being friends, you know.
Yeah. So
it's true.
It's very real. People just ignore realities they don't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just fascinating because I've never been like this. I've always had relationships and connections with both conservatives and liberals. So the idea, there are very few statements that somebody could make that would like shock me like this. It's
that
like
would make you go,
yeah, it's like it reminds me of my days at UMass where like if somebody had stood up in class and been like, I think abortion is murder. So many of the women in the room would have been like, what?
Even though it's like,
all right, well, 30% of the country has always believed that.
Also, there's a solid argument for it.
Yeah. I mean,
so it makes sense. But if you haven't exposed yourself to it, it's like
what do you mean? Everyone around here drives with Planned Parenthood stickers on their car.
Like, I mean, the only thing I think I clutch my pearls at, actually, I don't really clutch my pearls at anything, but like when I was around an influencer in LA, we were filming our project and she said some pretty racist things, like openly did not care, very like Nick Fuentes type. And I did clutch my pearls a bit at that. I was like, oh, like this is normal now. But like, that's the only thing is when people are being like blatantly
just hateful. But then that's not pearl clutching. That's like just justified offense taking at something.
Yeah.
What's annoying to me is when people put themselves in such echo chambers that like fundamentally mainstream opinions are now like,
yeah.
Let's see if there's anything more in this clip.
I'm a lesbian. I'm not transphobic and I'm black. So if there's another black woman in here who wants to tell me how they feel, please.
All right, I'll just pause on this. I do hate that. Like your opinion is not more or less. She's speaking their language, but your opinion is not more valid because you're black or because you're a lesbian.
No, your experience does not mean you are right. It might help you form a correct opinion, but if your opinion is just solely resting on the fact that you're black, then I'm already tuning you out.
Yeah, I guess maybe in fairness, This audience is.
If I'm to be honest, if it was me, I would probably pull as many cards as I could in front of this audience because that's the only way to shut them up.
Yeah, that's why they won't shout her down. Like if it was a white male saying this, they would have already thrown him out.
Even if it was a white gay male that was saying it,
it would have been like cis privilege.
Scott would have been like, you just hate yourself, blah blah blah.
It is interesting how I don't know what the right word is, like tame he is in response to this.
Maybe he's trying to actually win.
Maybe, but also it might be because it's somebody who outranks him on the victim hierarchy. This is a black lesbian woman, and he's just a cisgender gay man.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like he would probably shut down or like silence or dismiss someone more, whereas he's been more diplomatic with her. Let's see how this goes.
Hey, Phil, please join in. But all of you are not. And I don't know who you are, what you are, but I'm a lesbian, and I'm telling you right now, men are harassing women in the locker room.
Let's let him answer the question.
I'm just telling you, since y'all want to woo.
No, just let's
Now I'm done. And by the way, I respect what you have done. I just want to let you know that.
let's give the senator the opportunity.
I'm done.
I appreciate your point of view.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry that you were harassed,
Multiple times.
and I appreciate you talking about it. I think we need to protect the safety of all women, and that obviously that's incredibly important. And I also know that trans women are also brutalized in this country. So women and cisgender women are brutalized in this country, and we have to protect the safety of all women.
We have to protect women. We cannot be raped in the bathrooms by men that want to say they're women. They're not women. They're not women. I'm leaving. It's okay, but I'm not going to take it. I am leaving because you know what? You guys are not protecting women. You're doing a lot. The bills that you're passing for the law, I read a lot of them. They're great. But this things with the trans, it's not right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I don't understand. I guess it's because he's trying to just win an election. But like, how can you not make a clear distinction between protecting trans women and also identifying the fact that self-ID is a problem?
He just all lives mattered her.
Yeah, he did. He really did. That's crazy. That's a crazy way to put it.
No, listen, I think this is interesting. None of this is particularly surprising to me. There's obviously tensions that exist and have existed here. But she is now getting criticized, Tish, on TikTok for being transphobic for the things that she said.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's watch this video about her from, I believe, a trans woman.
I just saw a video of Tish speaking to the California state senator, and I think where she's going about this incorrectly, because I'm not here to invalidate her feelings or the points that she's making, but you don't get to say, oh, I'm not transphobic. You guys need to listen to me. I'm credible because I'm not transphobic. And then in the same breath, say, trans women are men. They're not women, they're men. Like, I'm actually curious what her points are. I would love to sit and listen. But the second she says something like that, I'm out. Like, it's transphobic. It discredits your whole argument. I get that you say you're not transphobic, but then you say things that are inherently and just objectively transphobic.
It's not transphobic to say that.
A fact can't be transphobic.
No.
The definition of man is adult human male. Trans women are adults. They're human. They deserve love and dignity and respect like anyone else. And they are male.
Correct.
So it's kind of insane to label someone a form of a bigot if they say a fact out loud.
I don't know how to respond to this anymore because it's like, it's such insanity. And I know that nobody in that room that is like straight and not trans actually believes it. They're all just virtue signaling. That's all it is. They're like, oh, I'm going to believe that trans women are women.
But I'm not going to act like it.
I care more about the feelings of trans women than the truth, which honestly, if that's the only reason why, it's admirable, but it's still false. Like, the highway to hell is paved with good intentions. You can't just sit here and lie to yourself and lie to other people and expect there not to be problems with it.
And I actually think if the definition of transphobia should be, do you hate trans people?
Correct.
Right? Because I think there are a fair number of people, and I would put like the Matt Walshes of this world.
Correct.
Who, when he makes videos calling Dylan Mulvaney subhuman, right?
Yes.
Which he absolutely did.
Yeah, I remember that.
They are actually transphobic in a meaningful sense of they just hate trans people. They have hate in their heart. But when you conflate, and I think they've done this, the activist crowd and just kind of left of center trans advocates more broadly, people who hold a factually correct view of human biology or definitions as transphobic, you have watered that down to the point of insignificance. Whereas,
It's the same thing as racism and homophobia.
and now you have actual racists, actual homophobia. It's all just because they called everyone that. They freaking called Trader Joe's for having the like ethnic brand names racist. Like
Aunt Jemima, you know, all of those.
Can we bring Aunt Jemima back? I think Trump should sign an executive order
For
bringing
Aunt
back Aunt Jemima.
Honestly, the way that they erase the representation of a black woman is crazy.
Mhm.
And the Washington Redskins, same thing.
Yeah.
And what are they named now? I don't know. I don't watch football.
The Commanders.
That's their name?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yikes.
Anyway, guys, listen, I don't necessarily agree with everything Tish is saying, but I think just responding like all lives mattering and just saying trans women are women after someone tells you they've been brutalized by your self-ID policies
Right.
Isn't a great response. And I think Democrats are going to have to come up with a better answer than that if they ever want
If
to
they want to win a
mainstream
national
power.
election.
He's running in Nancy Pelosi's old district.
He'll be fine.
Maybe he'll be fine. But people like that are a anchor dragging down the Democratic Party.
Correct.
And so I actually think the worst thing, I mean, he has such a creepy past as well, like some of the bills he's sponsored and things he's said, that if he is elected to Congress, he is going to be such a prime target for conservatives and Republican media to paint all Democrats in the light of him.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to be like a new shining example of disgusting gay Democrat.
But it'll be true. Now, it won't actually be necessarily representative of all Democrats, but it won't.
Or of all gay people. But,
oh, no.
But in some people's minds, it will be.
Right. I mean, yeah, unless they actually disavowed or distance themselves from him, but they won't.
No.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button while you're at it to reward our suffering, and consider becoming a member to watch us react to old unearthed videos of Jeffrey Marsh. But none of them are X-rated, thank God.
No.
That I couldn't do. That one,
I feel like
there's no amount of money in the world. That'd be, actually wouldn't be as bad as the Latino. I take it back, but it'd be creepier.
I don't know. I feel like it.
All right, we don't need to think about it because it's not happening.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye. We'll be back with more normal gays real soon.